We've got the management at Sun TV joining us. Mr. S.L. Narayanan is with us, Group CFO at Sun TV. S.L., good morning. Great to have you here. Prashant this side.
Morning, Prashant.
So first quarter was expected to see, good growth. You had elections, and you had a couple of other things as well. But your ad revenue growth has been absolutely flat. Could you start by talking about it? What happened?
Yeah, ad revenue has to be seen in context of, the last year's June quarter where there were no limits on advertising. If you recall, the TRAI mandated cap on number of minutes started coming into effect from the September quarter of 2013. And so we've had some peculiarities arising out of our outsourced content production model. So beginning September of 2014, we will start seeing growth here because that will be like to like in the case of Sun.
No, Q2 and Q3 will be better because I guess the base basically is small, right? Would that be the primary reason why Q2 and Q3 would, in terms of growth rate, post double-digit ad revenue growth?
That's right. See, basically because we had some, impact of the number of minutes, and there was a lot of confusion on what is the cap on the number of minutes. So it took some time before the system settled down. So in our case, the real growth we'll start seeing from September quarter, and we're confident that it will come back. And we've also seen substantial improvement in the business sentiment, and I'm confident that spends will be back.
But just to get that point out, why was Q1 ad revenue growth flat, SL? Very briefly. Primary reason.
In June of last year, we didn't have any limitations on number of minutes. The TRAI mandated cap of 16 minutes to start with, and then that started kicking in from September.
But I think that's under litigation, right? I mean, that's still not.
Yes, it's gone through several rounds of litigation. I really don't know what's happening there. And there are some knowledgeable people that comment that things may not go back to the way they were. So, and I personally believe that there was no need for regulation in this area. Because,
in Q1, SL, what you're saying is that ad minutes per hour were, you capped it to what TRAI wanted you to. Is that what you're saying?
No. We basically don't want to, fall foul of the law, which is why we had completely complied with whatever was there to begin with. And then there were some relaxations, and the matter went to court. There was a stay, and people started interpreting the number of minutes in their own ways. So there's a lot of confusion here. And there's one branch of the broadcasting industry which is representing to the lawmakers that there's no need to regulate here. Because if you showed only advertisements, for example, chances are nobody would see you. So there is a natural interest for broadcasters to self-regulate, because if you show more of content and high-quality content, your ratings will go up. So there was no need to regulate this in the first place. So
just a quick point. What was the average? Across channels, entertainment, comedy, kids, everything? What was the average ad minutes an hour in Q1 of fiscal 15 compared to Q1 of fiscal 14?
See, I wouldn't have the data because we have almost 26 channels across 4 languages. So I wouldn't have that number on top of my head. Because
but was it lower, was it higher, was it the same?
It was somewhat around the ballpark, but we also had some implications on our ability to sell because of
And now, as we are in Q2, what's the situation? Are you still complying broadly with to be on the safer side, as you said?
The way people are now interpreting is very different because since there is a stay, it is now back to life affair, and to each his own. And that was the reason why I don't want to really comment on which way it will end. in case this gets regulated soon and there's a new law, have to comply with this, and maybe at that time raise rates again.
Okay, we've got you on a slightly bad line here. SL, Z reported 20% growth, ad revenue growth in Q1. So, I mean, could you, I'm not asking you to comment on what they did, but was there a specific issue at Sun, or what was the reason, or there wasn't pricing power? You could have raised rates, or that wasn't possible?
So, I think it would be possible for me to compare Sun with Z, because Z has got a national footprint and they're present in bigger markets. We, as you know, have a very focused approach, and we target only the more southern markets. So there are some implications arising out of that focus. So I don't think I'll be able to decipher why Z's done better. But there have also been quarters where we've done better than them, and therefore it's not right to draw any parallels based on a limited set of information.
Right. What about subscription revenues? And could you just tell us?
Fairly well.
Yeah.
Because on a year-on-year basis, I think they're up 15-20% in almost all formats: cable, DTH, and international. And going forward with the phase 3 and phase 4 kicking in, I don't know what the date's going to be. I hear that again it'll get delayed. But as and when it gets implemented, we will see a renewed burst of buoyancy on revenues.
Your IPL franchise posted an EBITDA loss of about 43.5 odd crores.
Yep.
I mean, there were specific issues there. What would you say? I mean, what's the plan there, the IPL franchise?
See, IPL is a property which will become very valuable as the years go by. In fact, as early as another 2.5 years, we will move from this fixed fee payment of 85 crores, and that gets substituted with a 20% revenue share. So that will be an immediate relief of about 85 crores, which is getting expensed today. And that said, we also added to our cost this year, because if you recall, in the first year, we finished number 4 out of a team strength of 8 teams. And now we spent another 20 crores adding some really good sports people into the team. Unfortunately, despite that additional investment, we didn't move beyond number 4. We finished number 6. So though we added this 20 crores in cost because we didn't make the playoffs, we made about $1 million less. So that was 6 crores less in revenues. And also in the run-up to the pre-marketing efforts for the sponsorship opportunities associated with Sunrisers, there were a spate of controversies which impacted our ability to sell those opportunities. And fortunately, those controversies and that negativity surrounding the IPL itself has gone away. So I'm confident that starting next year, we will start posting a much better number.
The movie is acquiring movies becoming extremely expensive for you. I mean, could you talk about that? What are the kind of returns that you have in mind when you go ahead acquire some of these movies for very high values?
Yes. We have our own internal valuation benchmarks. So if a movie doesn't conform to the payback criteria that we've established for ourselves, we generally don't end up buying those expensive movies. Because if one expensive movie gets bought by someone else, then the chances are that that rival channel doesn't show up, at least for the next several other opportunities that come up. So we have a back of the envelope approach here. At least a certain significant percentage of the movie purchase amount has to come through advertisement revenues in the first screening. And we have a fairly good sense of how that works. And therefore, we stay away from titles that are extremely expensive at first blush. And that incidentally also helps us a lot because given the firepower on the balance sheet, subsequent opportunities when they come up, we are able to close deals pretty quickly.
SL, one last question. Everything okay as far as SpiceJet goes?
I don't think I can say everything is okay. I think what you read in the media is often very hyped and sometimes even prejudiced. But we have to soldier on. I mean, this industry didn't need any fresh competition because almost everybody was bleeding. So now we have 2 more new airlines and I believe 6 more. So it's going to be an absolute slugfest. And I think the customers will be laughing all the way to the bank.
No, but is the group as committed to the business as it was before? Or, you know, I've asked you this, we've discussed this many times before about a strategic investor getting somebody in, and you always said, well, we keep talking, etc. So is the hunt kind of intensified?
Investors, you know, I think any investor will need, you know, a very, very strong stomach to come into an existing carrier at this time. Yes. So it will be easy to, you know, start a new airline because if the government is going to issue licenses and, you know, make it more competitive, it will be easy for a strategic investor to come and start a new airline. So why would anybody want to come and buy us out? If I were to be a CFO in an airline outside of India, I'll think 10 times before investing in India.
So you're indirectly telling me, in a way, there aren't any takers, right?
I wouldn't say that, actually, because then I'd be lying.
Okay. But is the group committed to the business? Airline
this
business?
time, you know, we are committed to almost every business that we are in, whether it's printing or radio or broadcasting or media. We are, I mean, at the end of the day, our job is to make sure that we survive and fight another day.
Got that. SL, thanks very much. Good talking to you.